uses the tool of mythology on an incredibly regular basis. It is used to ground a fantastical story by implementing real historical events and people, as well as mythos and mythological characters. One example would be the Dragon Ball franchise. Goku was meant to be created as the Chinese warrior monkey, Sun Wukong, before Akira Toriyama's producer convinced him to fashion a new unique character, and even after the character of Goku was born, still showing a strong likeness to Wukong, with an original Goku having ape-like tail and power pole. And if a series that big has such resonance with mythology, what if there was a series completely immersed in it? Fate Zero was made in 2011 by Omniplex as well as Ufotable, and was based on the visual novel produced by Type Moon, being made as a direct prequel to their original 2006 work, Fate Stay Night. First, I just want to make a quick note on this series' animation. Fate Zero has some of the best animation I've ever seen, never displaying a bad frame and balancing a perfect mix of classic animation effects as well as CGI and modern techniques, resulting in breathtaking animation. It revolves around the Holy Grail War, a set of conflicts that pit the masters, magic users that have been chosen by the Grail, and their servants, heroic spirits from real fictional history, for the chance for their wishes and their innermost desires to become true. This leads us into the second part of the video. Who are the masters and who are their servants? The main plot of Fate Zero follows the team of the main character, Kiritsugu Emiya. More on him later. The group consists of Kiritsugu himself, his wife Iris Vale von Einsburn, Antoria Pendragon, his servant, and a student assassin Maya Hisao. Iris Vale von Einsburn first appeared to me as a generic female supporting character in anime, kind and generous and not being able to see more of a serious character. However, as the plot progresses, she's flipped that expectation on its head. Iris Vale is a woman so dead set on her husband's ideals for creating a world without war, that she isn't affected by the nefarious deeds committed on the way of achieving that goal. Although being a kind-hearted person, years inside isolated from the real world has made Iris Vale more oblivious of the evil committed, even that of her friend and husband Kiritsugu. Magic is threads that materialise into animals used to defend herself, taught to her by Kiritsugu, with this magic being passed down to their daughter Ilya in Stay Night. When Saber is introduced, by summoning completed by the scabbard of Excalibur, a new dynamic was introduced to the group. As Saber, or Artoria Pendragon, Fate's depiction of King Arthur, is a stable character, her ideals are clear: earn the Grail to become the saviour king of Britain. Saber's psyche is over-encumbered by dreams and wishes, hopes and aspirations, and although that supplies with great power, weighs heavily on the conscious. Saber forms an unlikely bond with Iris Vale, with Saber being opposed with Kiritsugu, falling into Iris Vale's hands to show him his human side. Kiritsugu's student, Maya Hisao, is a simple but effective character. She is first seen having an affair with Kiritsugu, but the affair is seen as awkward for all parties. But as the story progresses, Maya sees the genuine connection between Kiritsugu and Iris Vale, and starts to back off from the romantic role. A side note to add from Maya would be the Calico submachine gun, a replica of Kiritsugu's, showing off the extent of his role as a mentor. Last, but definitely not least in the group, is the series' main protagonist, Kiritsugu Emiya himself. Kiritsugu is the definition of an anti-hero, a character whose motives are pure but will do literally anything to reach his goal. His early childhood was full of joy and vibrance, but was forced by fate to make snap decisions for the greater good of humanity. Through the start of the series, it was explained that Kiritsugu was a former assassin employed by the noble Iceburn clan to win them the Grail, consequently resulting in his love for Iris Vale. He was said to be a skilled assassin, but his methods being looked down upon by other mages involved in the war. The magic that Kiritsugu is skilled in is Time Alter Magic, one of my personal favourite skills in any anime series, with it increasing time for him at a rapid rate. He has two guns, a Walther handgun called the Contender, and a submachine gun called the Calico, that as we said before was the same as Maya's. The round of his Contender are origin rounds, fashioned out of his own ribs, fracturing his opponent's magical circuits, the source of any mage's power. Kiritsugu is an amazing character. The way he is able to switch off from his emotions because he knows that if he carries out the task, he can redeem himself for all the murder and manipulation he has committed. This is a character not scared of looking like the villain for a few episodes, as long as he follows through with his lifelong dream. But Kiritsugu is also a decent and loving man, constantly showing his love for his wife and child, and even his friendship for Maya, not just making him an edgy, cookie-cutter character that is so common in other anime. A character that's ripping himself apart, not hesitating from killing the ones he loves, his father and his mentor Natalia Kaminsky, as long as it meant for the safety of others. As there are 7 competitors in the Grail War, Kiritsugu being one of them, that leaves us with 6 more masters and their servants to talk about. In Fate, the Church is an organisation that adjudicates the Grail War, with the head priest being at the helm of the battles. However, the Church is a shady organisation, entering its own participants with unfair advantages. Think of the Church as being like a noble family, like the Iceburns we discussed before, only that they are not related by blood, but faith. Tokiomi Tosuka, father of Rin Tosuka, one of the main protagonists in Stay Night, is a conserved and well-mannered man that displays himself as obedient while secretly harbouring his own aspirations, not known by his comrades. Despite appearing like a good father looking in, he was scolded by Karia Matau about the willingness he showed by giving his daughter Sakura to the Matau lineage. His magic, that we only see briefly, is sourced by his staff, decorated with red gemstones like the one used by Rin in Stay Night. His servant is Gilgamesh, an ancient king from Babylonia, a king that is wrapped in arrogance that is not misplaced. Despite being in the archer class, Gilgamesh doesn't wield a bow, but portals into his treasury, housing his thousands of noble phantasms, showing his immense wealth and status. Gilgamesh is the character that likes playing with his food, toying with his masters as he truly believes that he is their superior in every regard. He is transfixed with the modern world, but also despises it, thinking that humans have lost their meaning and the population has grown to a superfluous amount. He has a transfixiation with the beautiful, and that in which he finds not so he shuns, seeing them as a byproduct of this new and unnecessary world, and only gives basic respect to the ones that match him in power. Now, we move on to the final member of the church's organisation. His overall antagonist is Kirei Kotomine, the son of the priest in charge of the Grail War. Kirei is a character that's supposed to be bland at the start of the series, a man who doesn't find joy or excitement in the jobs he is tasked to do, but does them to keep his bosses happy. Then, Gilgamesh begins to pry into the mind of Kirei, and we learn of a much more sinister and secretive character. Over multiple occasions, Gilgamesh and Kirei meet to discuss each other's ideals, with in the end Gilgamesh forcefully extracting what he wants, being in complete control of Kirei. Kirei is a character in need of a wake-up call. In the end, a decimating explosion is needed to shine a light on what an evil and self-centered character he is. His signature weapons are handheld blades called Black Keys that he holds between his fingers. As he is a future adjudicator of the Grail War, that's his role in Stay Night, he has inherited a collection of command seals, the code given to a servant forcing them to the master's will, making him incredibly powerful even without a servant. His original servant is the Hassan, a trained group of assassins skilled in hiding in the shadows, and during the series the main form of reconnaissance for the church. I think that the Hassan are extremely underutilised, and an overall really cool heroic spirit. Moving on to the side characters, Koryo Matau is the reject son of prestigious Matau lineage, and he risks his life for humanity for the power of his friend's daughter, Sakura Matau, formerly known as Sakura Tosaka. The magic forced upon him is the worm and insects, linked with Zoka Matau, the head of the clan who is uncaring of the effects in his grandson's body, as long as he wins the Grail. His servant is Lancelot Delac, one of the Knights of the Round Table, who has been corrupted by anger and revenge, like his master Koryo. Koryo is unafraid of dying, and wants Sakura to return to playing with her sister, and doesn't care about the destruction he brings upon himself. Minathal Malloy is a sinister and formal character, being a lecturer at the prestigious Clock Tower School where he teaches magic. His magic is Sculp, where a large ball of magnesium reacts to his situation and provides an attack and defensive utility. He only ever thinks about the Grail, not even seeing it as a wish-granting device per se, but something to help his career. His servant is Diarmuid, a Celtic hero that is both fierce and noble, a troop later assigned to the Lancer class, which is ultimately his downfall. Wyver Velvet is a young, impressionable and inexperienced teenager, still a novice to magecraft and battle, but being strong-willed enough to continue with the Grail War. He has a basic set of skills in alchemy, which he is studying at the Clock Tower School, one of the teachers being Cainith Malloy. Wyver then musters the courage to steal the catalyst from Cainith's summon, revealing his powerful servant. Wyver's servant is Iskander, or Alexander the Great, the rider-class servant of the Grail War. He is a strong and tall man, contrasting historical accounts of Alexander, and even laughs at the idea when Wyver picks up a book on him later in the series. His chariot is blessed by Zeus, and rages lightning across the sky, and his pure strength and leadership skills are shown through his reality marble. His reality marble is a desert dimension filled with the souls of people who fought with Alexander as allies. Alexander helps Wyver to become a brave and better leader than he has ever been, with at the end Wyver carrying on Alexander's legacy. The final master in the Grail War is Ryunosuke Uryu, a crazy and unhinged man who lives only to torture and kill the innocent. Compared to other characters in Zero, I think that Ryunosuke is over the top, almost being caricature compared to other characters in the series, being way too flamboyant compared to the other masters. Luckily, his servant, Giles the Rays, is an incredibly interesting, albeit short-lived character. He is the caster servant for the Grail War, and his demonic and Lovecraftian magic is a welcome twist on the role compared to some of the generic magic seen later on in the Fate series, even directly referencing Cthulhu on multiple occasions. He is a character unfazed by God's wrath, even taunting the heavens as they haven't stopped him when he was alive. They certainly won't do now. Anyway, this is the end of my video on the Masters and Servants of Fate Zero. Thanks so much for watching. I put a lot of time into this one, and I'm glad if you enjoyed it. As bonus for watching this long, I want to leave you with my cinematic art piece, as I like to call Dr. Skane's Awakening, a tale of a new character I've created. So I hope you guys enjoy, and see you in the next one.